Hello, everyone. I'm Megan Graham, and I just wanted to come on here today for episode 2 of the Megan Graham Show, talking about something and always talking about something that is happening right now. So, I wanted to talk to you about, do pets have emotions and do pets grieve? And why am I talking about this right now? If you've been watching my channel, it's because we recently lost one of our beloved Yorkies. And one of the things that Jeff and I have been going through, and if you've ever had a pet and lost a pet and you had other pets, is that the other pets are definitely feeling this as well. And really, why wouldn't they? So, first of all, Lola had a long illness. She was ill for about 10 months, and the other pets are obviously very aware of what's been going on. It was obvious when Lola was stumbling and having trouble eating and drinking that there was something happening. And we were, to be honest, we were not, and also feel free to jump into this conversation. To be honest, when we lost Lola, or when we knew we were going to lose Lola, we were really trying to think about how to handle it, because we do have multiple animals and we don't have any way of conveying information to them. So, since we can't speak to our animals, we can't tell them what's going on. And obviously, all of them lived their entire existence in our home with Lola. So, we weren't really sure of what the right thing to do would be. And we didn't think the right thing to do would be obviously to bring them with us, as we had to put Lola down. And that obviously wasn't going to work, because that was Lola's time and our time with Lola. And so we came back here, and when we first got home, and we didn't have Lola with us, and it was the first time that all of our animals have been here and Lola has not been here. Literally every time I've ever been in the home, Lola has been with me. So there's never been a time where she spent time in the hospital or away from everyone. And at first, Jeff and I had just a differing of opinion. And he said, I just don't really think that they know what's going on. And I was trying to tell him that I really think animals are hyper aware, because that is their pack, right? The people and the animals that animals spend their time with, it becomes a pack, and they know exactly who's there. They know the schedule. They know what's normal, and they're keeping track of everything. If you have an animal, please feel free to add to the chat and let me know your animal's habits as well. But for ours, they know. And I noticed some different things happening with our animals as soon as I got home. And I was pointing them out to Jeff, and Jeff said, "You're being really dramatic. They can't tell that she's gone." But what I noticed right away is that our cats, especially, so Lola was a 4-pound Yorkie, and our cats actually seemed to be looking for her constantly as soon as we came home. They were smelling all of my clothing. They did not have their regular habits. So one of our cats regularly comes to bed. He's always the first one in the bed. He never went to bed. They started spending time in the hallway, and 2 of them actually started crying quite a bit as well at night. And on top of it, I have her sister from the same litter, and her sister Poppy is actually usually pretty quiet, and she's sort of a loner. She likes to hang out on her own. So I didn't notice big changes, but who I really did notice some huge changes in was this guy. So this is Alfie. He's 9 years old, and he was definitely best friends with Lola. And right away, I saw some major changes with Alfie. And Alfie actually stopped wanting to eat his food, and he started getting super lethargic. It's not how he acts. It's honestly just never how Alfie acts. Hello, Robin. Thank you so much for saying hi. I really appreciate it. And so that was the biggest change that we saw initially. But actually, what happened with Alfie is, at first we thought, okay, this is grief. He's grieving, and he didn't really eat his food. That was the first day. The second day, he still seemed very off. But by the third day, Alfie absolutely wouldn't eat his food. He's never done that in his entire life, and we had just lost Lola. And he actually started trembling, and he also started having really labored breathing and vomiting. And this is a dog he's really never sick. He's quite a healthy little dog. So Alfie wound up having to have an emergency vet visit, and he has pneumonia. Now, this may have not all been brought on by Lola passing, but what Alfie's, he's just such a sweet little boy. What Alfie's vet actually said is that she thinks that he's a very, very attached dog, and that he's been having a lot of trouble with losing part of his pack, which I think it makes perfect sense. He has always been the sweetest, kindest, most gentle dog in the world. From the moment that I got him, he lets me hold him like a little baby, and he loved Lola from day one. So Alfie has been in, just giving you guys a little overview, but he's been into the vet. Today is Thursday, and we went to the vet emergency on Sunday, and then he's been into his vet Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for treatments. He'll be going in again tomorrow, and then still getting treatments the next week as well. So for Alfie, he had quite a few changes, and for the cats, we did as well. So we could say that animals appear to be able to, I mean, for sure, my animals, even though they even say that animals don't have expressions, mine certainly do. I can see, you know them very well. Since you can never speak to your animals, it's very, at least clear to me, when my animals are thinking things. For cats, you can tell with their tails. For dogs, you can tell with their habits, and often if they're wagging their tail or whether they're eating. And so we had quite a few different changes. Alfie is doing a lot better now. He's been getting some great treatments with his vet every single day, and he's starting to eat a little bit and do a little bit better. Scott says, I believe they do also. Yes, I mean, I think that they're very sensitive. And truly, I don't know if anyone else has seen any of these stories, but I have seen stories of where, let's say, a dog's owner passes and the dog actually stays on the owner's grave, or stays very close. So I think they're extremely loyal creatures, and not only to their humans but also to their animal companion friends too. So just wanted to talk a little bit about that, but also about some of the things that we're doing for our pets, because for people and for animals, our brains and our physical body, I mean, everything is one. And so if we are grieving, if we're extremely sad, if our nervous system is off, we have the capacity to also get very sick and not feel well. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about things that we're doing. Our cat Sasha is a beautiful Siberian, and he is very, very, very sensitive. So in the past, when my husband Jeff would travel, Sasha actually got I'm trying to think of the exact word. He got blockages. If you've ever heard of a blockage in a cat. Poppy, come on, Pops. Come on, sweetie. She's staying back there. You can see Poppy in the hallway. But he would actually get blockages from the fact that he was upset when my husband traveled. And so with what has just happened, obviously we are grieving Lola, but we're also working really hard to have a calm, welcoming environment and really support the pets that we do have, because especially with seeing what happened to Alfie, we want to keep things as comfortable as possible and just as safe feeling as possible. So a few different things that we've done. We have some blankets that Lola spent time on, and we have not washed those blankets. We put those blankets out so that they can still have her scent and they can still feel her presence even though she's not here. We are spending extra time grooming them and giving them massages and just extra attention to make sure that they feel loved. We know that we can't take away their grief that they have, but we're just trying to be extra gentle, take them outside, let them do things that bring them joy and enjoyment. On top of that, we have some really special, these are just ideas if you ever go through this, but we have some very special knit blankets that my mom made, and my dogs and cats love these things. So we make sure to have plenty of knit blankets so that they can just have a soft place to relax, and rest. And we also are just watching their eating habits. So yes, we have been giving them some special things during this time, because Alfie has not really wanted to eat. So we've been doing things like cooking fresh turkey and fresh bison and things to entice them so that they still have an appetite. for Sasha, our cat that he's actually right there. He's such a beautiful kitty. He is prone to blockages. So we have a supplement. Hi, Sasha. Come here, Sash. Want to come say hi? Come here. Show everybody how gorgeous you are. This is my gorgeous guy, Sasha. He's super, super sensitive, and he probably won't let me hold him for long. You want to go, buddy? Okay, you can go if you want to. So we've been giving him a supplement that we have, and it's called Tinkle Tonic. If you have a male cat, Tinkle Tonic, and actually for females as well, is a supplement that is liquid form, and it can actually help your cat not have blockages and have more comfortable urination, because the last thing that we would possibly want would be for our cat to have a blockage, which is life-threatening because he's upset about losing his sister. So we've been supplementing him. We've been giving the kitties extra attention and extra play. And on top of it, if you do have a cat and a dog or multiple species, there's something called Feel Away, and that is a pheromone spray that makes cats feel more relaxed. And we have been sure to spray Feel Away around our home every day so that the cats feel very relaxed. So we're just doing our best. We know that we definitely do know that they can feel emotion. And we do know Jeff finally admitted that, yes, it appears that our animals are very sensitive and they do have emotions about what happened. And so we're just doing everything we can. We know that we can't bring Lola back, and we know that we can't change their feelings, but we're just trying to make them feel as comfortable. Hi, Poppy. Come here. This is actually Lola's sister from the same litter that I have. So she's such a good girl. She's very, very different than Lola, but she's such a good girl. And we're just working to make sure that everybody feels loved and comfortable through the process, because all of us are missing Lola a lot. So not trying to make everybody sad talking about pet loss, but I think that it's one of those things that happens to every single pet lover, and you wish it wouldn't, and you dread the day that it happens, but unfortunately it is part of loving pets. And I think part of loving pets is taking care of, if you do have multiple pets, taking care of those pets that still remain living as well. So that was just a little bit about what has been going on, but every single pet is different. So we've just been trying to give them what they need. And also, I just wanted to quickly address something at the end of this, and feel free to jump in if you have any questions. It does not have to be, it could be about something completely different than what I'm talking about. I'm just coming on here for my show. I love to chat with you guys. I love to bring ideas for different things and just talk about things that are on my mind. But you're always free to talk about anything. It could be the animals. If you want to ask me about something else, that's fine too. But it's just a really nice, relaxing, friendly place to chat. One of my viewers hopped onto my YouTube today, and she was asking me, so two of my Yorkies, which were Teddy and Lola, they were from two different people. So they're not from the same lineage, and they both got the same rare disease. And one of my viewers, Violet, was asking about, well, can you tell us your theory on why this disease is happening? And it's called GME. It's a form of encephalitis. And I can't go too deep into why I think it's happening, because I think that if I went too deep into why I think that this disease is happening to Yorkies and smaller dogs as opposed to bigger dogs, I probably would wind up, my YouTubes wouldn't travel as far, because it's an unpopular topic to discuss. But I think that so this is an autoimmune disease, and it's a disease where the dog's body starts attacking itself. And so Lola's body and her immune system started attacking her brain. And really, just my theory, I'm not telling you why anything happens, but I also have autoimmune disease. And I would say that why I believe it's happening to dogs is, I think it's twofold. So once both of my dogs had it, both of the neurologists that dealt with my dogs said that I should not use conventional flea medicine or give them any shots after that happened. So that was with both dogs. They said that it would exacerbate it. So it definitely, I can't say exactly what I think about those things. I'm not saying, I personally would never, ever use conventional flea medicine again on my pets. Once I discovered what was in it, it's a neurotoxin, and we don't know until we know, but we're putting it right on our dog's body, and it's a neurotoxin, and I would never, ever, ever, ever touch that stuff myself. So I also wouldn't put it on my dogs. There's a lot of different options. I buy some flea and tick spray from a holistic vet, and that works really well, and it is not harmful for my pet's health. So I think that was a big part of it. And I guess the reason that I think it's happening to little dogs more than big dogs is that, and you may or may not know this, but when dogs get their immunizations, they all get the exact same size shot. So I have 4-pound dogs, and some people have 120-pound dogs. The shot size is exactly the same dose for the large dog and the tiny dog that's the size of a ferret or smaller. So that to me is a huge issue. And the fact that they haven't adjusted the dosages, most likely they're getting too much of something that could be good in the correct size, but unfortunately they're getting a larger size, and they're probably getting it yearly. So those are two things that I definitely question. And I'm not saying that I don't do some of those things, and I do others sometimes. I'll just say that. But it has definitely changed my view on how often I would do certain things. I don't only think it's that. I also think that there are a lot of lawn and gardening chemicals, which unfortunately pets are on the ground constantly. They're exposed to a lot of things. And if you don't know this, our skin is our largest organ. And so, of course, it's the same for dogs. So if a dog is walking through various chemicals, they are going to be getting toxic exposure through their lifespan. So that, and then depending on the quality of the food, it's that as well. So basically, it's toxicity. And the toxicity can come from various things. I don't think that the disease happens because of one thing. I don't think that there is one trigger, but I very much think it's environmental. And I think it's environmental that dogs and cats are not living as long as they used to. Their lifespans are definitely shorter than they were 20 years ago. So that is something to think about. I will say that we are planning on getting another puppy, not to replace Lola because she is completely irreplaceable, but another puppy that will play with Alfie and hopefully be his best friend. And I will absolutely be doing some things differently with my puppy. And I will also be doing certain supportive things with my holistic vet to support my puppy's body after it gets its first round of shots. Because honestly, I don't think there's any way to avoid certain things like that. It's really a tough one, but I'm going to do my very best to support my new baby to try to keep its health as good as possible. So hope that was helpful. It's difficult. I mean, I definitely have my opinions, but I always have to be careful on YouTube, because if you say too much on YouTube, you wind up not having a YouTube anymore. So you can kind of piece together what I actually think, but I would definitely do less and be more careful with all the exposures that my future dogs have. So hope this was helpful to you. I just wanted to come on here and talk about it today. I'm sure I'll be talking about quite a few pet topics just because that is what just happened. I also just recorded today a new phototherapy video that I'm going to be posting on my YouTube in the next day or two as well. And I'm just doing some really simple things for phototherapy. So I hope that's helpful. So thank you so much for joining me. And also please make sure to check out my description. I have my 2 main things that I do linked in there. And I really look forward to hearing from all of you and seeing you again soon. So thank you, and stay healthy and stay beautiful.